Does it work in there?
Need a
Yeah, I think she's just making a
Ask
copy.
his son a couple of days ago.
I talked to Ashley about.
She's all back to normal again, so that's good.
Okay.
Next, I'm gonna ask Ashley now.
Okay, so yeah, so what I'll do is I'll just give him a courtesy call and see if I can get him to come in
Okay.
and pay it, and then if not, we just put it on your next regularly scheduled agenda, but I'm going on vacation the 31st to the 16th, but Jody could, like my other inspector, can come to it.
Okay.
I'll send you an email, I'll follow up.
In a couple of minutes, Chris is on the way.
Kathy.
I need some extra copies of things that we're gonna be discussing because I didn't realize that we didn't have it already. Tobacco regulation updates are right here, and the gay proposals at the recycling center are right here. If anyone cares to follow along.
Is your office still open, Carla?
It is not, but I can open it.
Yeah, I just wanna give you this.
Okay, good, I'm glad. Yeah, me too, I'm glad. I'm glad.
You just put those over here, I guess.
Okay.
Just copies for the audience.
Oh, okay. Do we want these passed out?
If they wanna grab them, they can.
Anybody want proposed draft update for regulation of Townsend Board of Health restricting the sale of tobacco products? Okay. And proposal for a fence
Hello?
at the
hello,
recycling
hello.
center.
There he goes.
I'll take them. Oops.
Hi. You want a chance to glance over the stuff before you open the meeting? You want a chance to glance over that before you open the meeting?
Yep.
So the big piece of paper that you have in your clip is just the Shaw's trash contract. That's just a formality. You already voted and signed it, but we'd like to have several copies, one for Shaw's, one for the Board of Health office, and one for the Selectman's office.
How's that? Give us the camera in, I think we're ready, let me know.
Recording in progress.
I'd like to welcome everybody to the meeting this evening. Board of Health members and staff will meet at 272 Main Street, Townsend, Mass. We're about 5 minutes delayed, so we'll be opening at 6:06. Roll call,
Christian Roman Ramirez.
Jim LeClaire. Paul is on vacation this week. Additions or deletions not anticipated within 48 hours in advance.
So just under 1.8 for septic permits for approval, I have one more, 69 Highland Street. It's a upgrade with a local upgrade approval.
I would like to continue 1.10, the manure management plan for 188 Fitchburg Road. The application is incomplete at this time.
Okay. Atwood Acres Health Update.
Sure, so, I can't remember what last time we met, what we had talked about, but basically where it is the, I had met with, RCAP, as representatives for Atwood Acres, the, Chaz from the Board of Selectmen, Rebecca, who's a social worker, Elise, the COA director, Montechusett Pest Control was there, so we all talked and kinda came up with a plan kinda to move forward. They treated the entirety of the building, that finished on, not this last Friday, before that. So they did all units except for one who denied, entry, and then all of the common areas, so offices, conference rooms, the, community room, the laundry room, the hallways, the entire building was essentially treated. So they have follow-up treatment scheduled for around August 1st or August 2nd. They hadn't nailed down a date yet, but it was gonna be one of those two. And then I'm just following up on a couple of other units. But I think there was, 3 units with activity. So they were gonna go back, complete follow-up inspections, treat as needed, and, hopefully we'll get to the end of this.
You think it's under control, Rick?
We'll find out, so, those initial treatments are kinda to address everything, and then you need to wait the 2 or 3 week period for new eggs to hatch, and then figure out whether there's more activity, and then you follow up with that second treatment. So typically, 2 treatments will take care of it unless it's a really bad infestation, so, hopefully after that August 2nd one, or August 1st, August 2nd, they'll go back in another 3 weeks, inspect, and hopefully we won't see any activity at that point.
Okay. You happy with that, Chris?
I don't have any questions for that.
Okay. All right, 35 Adams Road.
Have a plan?
I do,
Can we take this one out?
some about colors. 35 Adams Road, it's owned by Bill Cadigan and Joan Savoy. It needs a new septic system. Their current septic system is a 1,000-gallon septic tank to a leach field out in this area here. We had done some soil testing down below that. We're gonna put a new 2,500-gallon 2-compartment tank here, gravity, and then gravity down to a Presby system in this location. We're looking for local variances. 12.9.4, all systems shall be equipped with an effluent filter on the outlet pipe of the septic tank. We have not provided one because it's a Presby system. They do not require one. And then we have local upgrade approval. 15.405.1H, 1 foot reduction is being looked at from a 5 foot to a 4 foot offset. This is in order to keep the grading from severely impacting that driveway over there and not getting into any more of this landscaping where there's some sizable mature trees in there.
Where's the road on this one?
It's way down here.
Okay,
I
it
brought
was
it.
off the picture, okay.
I brought a copy of the plan because this is about 7-acre parcel. This is the original house that's here, and then they had a big addition put on, and the driveway comes
Yeah,
up
okay.
this way.
Yeah.
There is town water here as well, so there's no well, so we're not impacting any wells, even on the abutting property.
Okay. Looks good to me. This is an automatic thing because it's a Frisbee, but we'll say that we're gonna approve it anyway, and that's not having the outlet filter in it. And as far as the groundwater offset reduction from 5 to 4, because it's a Frisbee, that's something else that's essentially a common practice on a repair and upgrade, not necessarily on new construction. So I get a motion for those two, and then a motion for an approval.
I have a motion for 35 Adams Road upgrade with LUA and local variance.
Okay, we gotta put this in here too, though.
And Title V local
From
upgrade
5
approval.
foot to 4 foot groundwater offset.
for the reduction of the required 5-foot separation between the SMSEs and the high groundwater table in the bottom of the leach area.
Okay, now the motion has been made to accept that.
I submit the motion to.
Okay, I'll second it, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We're all set, Jack.
Please get this one too.
Oh, that goes to Carla. Did you give her your money yet?
I
No.
still owe some money, yes.
Homeowners will be down for
You
payment.
got anything else, Jack, or is that it?
I got one more.
Okay.
You can announce it.
I'm sorry, that's 18 Coppersmith Road?
Correct.
Okay, sorry about that.
That's all right. Coppersmith, existing failed system, basically we're removing and replacing. There's Cultec chambers in here, they have failed after 12 years. We're gonna remove those and replace them with a Presby system. The existing tank is a 1,500 gallon tank, that's gonna stay. Again, this was part of the approval process.
Yeah, so we had, I think it was number 22, Coppersmith had come up, kind of a similar situation, infiltrator or Coltec chamber. had
Cultec
failed.
chambers, yeah.
They put in a Presby system in place, when we went back through, so this was a
40.
neighborhood that was built under a comprehensive permit with a 40B, so there were some exemptions to the local bylaws and regulations, including the Board of Health, so the systems were all designed essentially to meet Title V requirements, not including local requirements.
We are going to leave them with that 1,500 though, we're not gonna,
That's, you know, they're under that exemption with the 40B.
Oh, the-
you know,
okay.
So yeah, they
all right.
aren't obligated to meet the local Board of Health
Yeah.
regulations.
And you don't need any variances or nothing else?
We're looking for a local upgrade approval from the 5-foot, and we're only asking for a few tenths to bring it down to 4.7, that is to remain gravity.
Okay,
So we're looking at about a 1/4 foot drop from the 5-foot to the 4.7 feet, just so they don't have to put in a pump for a couple of tenths.
all right, so that's no big deal. Want to get a motion to grant the variance and then to approve the drawing?
I submit a motion for the upgrade variance on 18 Coppersmith Way
And approval?
and the approval.
Okay, I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, good to go.
Very much. See you tomorrow.
Yeah, you didn't want to
Oh, wait
do
a
Pine
minute, wait a
Street too?
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Oh,
Wait a minute.
no variance.
Which one is
No,
that?
yeah.
Okay, this one's 9 Pine Street.
9 Pine Street, yep. So existing house with a failed system, basically looking to replace and repair in the same location. So they're proposing to keep the existing 1,500 gallon tank, put in a new 1,000 gallon tank, and that'll gravity feed to a 30 by 15 leach field. This bubbled area is the existing system, so it's going basically in the same spot. But they are not requesting any variances, local or local upgrade approvals, so it is in full compliance with the upgrade regulations.
Looks good. Want to make a motion to approve that?
I submit a motion for 9 Pine Street upgrade.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
On Main Street, or should I take it out?
Yeah, you can take the one from there.
This is 1 Main Street.
One Main Street, yep. So this one is a proposed increase in flow, so, as far as the code is concerned, it's considered new construction. So there's a existing 1-bedroom home here, town water line coming in, there's an existing, cesspool right here. So they'll decommission that, use the same building sewer with a clean out and come over to this, 1,500 gallon 2-compartment septic tank, 1,000 gallon pump chamber, and then that'll pump up to this 30 by 15 leach field. So it's, existing 1-bedroom, they're increasing flow to 3 bedrooms.
Where is this?
It is, I think it's like a hair salon in Groton, and then
Okay.
there's like one other, house in Groton, and then it's the next one after that.
Does that have a reflection on the deed?
No, cause it'll be a 3-bedroom system.
It would be for 3, but it must have been restricted previously then.
The
or-
system was too old, so
Too
the
old,
regs
so there's
didn't
no
require
restriction.
it.
Okay, just,
Yeah.
I had to make sure I was asking the right questions. Okay, that one was good too. You ready for that, Chris?
I submit a motion to approve 1 Main Street increase in flow.
Okay, and I'll second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. Good to go. Then I get 69 Highland.
69.
Oh, sorry, Colin.
No worries, no worries.
So, existing house with a failed system, they're proposing to put the tanks out in the driveway. That's where the building sewer comes out right now, and it's a pretty significant increase in elevation going back towards the back of the property line. So town water coming in, they'll go to a 1,500 gallon 2-compartment H20 tank, 1,000 gallon pump chamber, that's H20 as well, and then that'll pump up to a Presby field. They are asking for a couple of local upgrade approvals. So one is to reduce the separation between the groundwater and the bottom of the system from 5 feet to 4 feet. The other is to request use of a sieve analysis in lieu of a perk. So it was just too wet to perk at the time we were out there. So we ended up taking a sample and came back as a sand.
Came back as a sand?
Yeah, I mean, we coulda, I coulda told you it was gonna be 2 minutes, but because we couldn't actually do it, we took a sample.
Oh, okay, I understand what you're at. Okay.
I have a question. How deep is this from the slope of this area?
So like existing grade, so the top of the tanks, they're about a foot above the inlet inverts, so it'd be 89, and then he's got a spot grade elevation of 89.93, so it's just under a foot.
Okay.
And then those will be H20 tanks, so they have a thicker concrete top, they're rated for vehicle traffic.
Okay.
Okay, so we got 2. We got the groundwater offset and we got the sieve analysis that we have to consider.
I also made a motion for the project of 69 Highland Street upgrade.
Okay, with 2 variances.
2 variances, yep.
Alright, I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Very good. You know, it's the tobacco regulations.
Hey, Joan.
Hello.
You know,
So you need to, make a motion to open the public hearing.
Oh, I'll make a motion, you could get a.
I'll make a motion to open the public, today's town meeting.
Okay, I'll second that, all in favor?
Aye.
Alright.
So,
Ross, come right up here, bring your chair up to the table.
all right, I'll just, introduce myself to everybody.
Okay.
I am Joan Hamlet, and I'm the Director of the Board of Health Tobacco Control Alliance, and I'm the Townsend, Tobacco Control Agent. And we have a proposed draft, regulation, and we highlighted everything that's gonna be new, and everything that is not highlighted is already a requirement of the state law and is already in your local reg, currently being enforced, to all the retailers in the town. So the purpose of this hearing is for the board to take, public comment, under advisement, and my role tonight is to answer any questions or point of clarification in the regs. It's not to debate the regs or anything like that, but it's just to answer point of clarification. And after tonight's information that's gathered, the board can, make a decision at the next meeting, how they wanna proceed with these changes. And I think that's it. One of the things I did wanna put on public record is that we hand delivered this regulation with the hearing notice and had each retailer employee sign that they received it for the store in addition to posting it online. So everybody received a copy. In that hearing notice, we encourage people, if they couldn't make the hearing, to submit written comment if they had something to say or had concerns they wanted the board to know about. I don't believe you received any. So I just wanted to, just kind of give a brief explanation before you open up the hearing. Open it up to public comment for anybody
Okay.
in the audience that wants to ask any questions.
Let me know when you're all set.
I am all set.
You're all set. Any questions? Cindy?
Yes, Cindy King, 1 West Elm Street. I noticed, well, we have a bylaw as well, so I'm a little confused about, this is regulations, which is, you guys can just have Board of Health regulations, right, regarding public health issues, but we also have a bylaw regarding the sale of tobacco products and the issuance of permits. So I'm wondering how this plays with the bylaw, if it's conflicting,
You wanna
or
answer her question?
if it's all, or if that has to be changed as well. And then my other question to the board would be, is there something that's gonna be, we have a special town meeting coming up, but is that also gonna be part of that?
So boards of health regulations, and bylaws, they're two different processes. So, a board of health regulation supersedes a bylaw. So when this goes into place, it supersedes anything in your
So it's
bylaw that does
higher.
not match this.
It's higher.
Yes.
Okay.
And boards of health, when they pass regulations, they don't do it through, town meeting. That's not the process. Their authority comes from the state for, chapter 111, Mass General Law, I wanna say 11131 gives them the authority to make regulations above and beyond. So this doesn't go to public vote, and part of that is public health is supposed to come before politics and business, so that's not the forum where they look at issues. But what they do is hold public hearings to give people who may be affected by this, or the public, to come in and ask questions, and to give comment before they make those decisions.
Did that answer your question, Cindy?
Kind of, mostly. But we do have the bylaw. I didn't realize that all this was gonna be detailed tonight, so I didn't have a chance to do any homework before coming. But, if the bylaw, which is now lower than this would be, if there's conflict, like if the bylaw is more restrictive, would that be lightened if this is less restrictive?
No, it's whichever one is higher.
Whichever one is more restrictive?
Yes.
Okay.
Whichever one is higher takes precedent over the other one. I do believe, and I could be wrong because I've been the agent for quite a while, I wanna say 2008. I'm not 100% on that. I do believe, the regulation, I'm not sure when the bylaw was passed, but I thought the regulation turned into, the original one we passed turned into the bylaw. I'm not 100% sure. But any type of policy and enforcement, we do this one, so I'm gonna wanna look at that bylaw to make sure. But if it's an older bylaw, there's probably nothing in it that's more restrictive
I
than
wanna say it
this.
was probably 2018. So it's
2018,
not-
okay, yeah,
not
no,
that
we
old.
okay, so we upgraded your regulations in 18, so I'm wondering if it's our regulation that
Was
got
it
put
done
in.
through town meeting vote? Cause I'm
Yes,
not aware of
it's on
any.
the, if it's on the E-code.
Yeah,
So
If we go-
our regulations are online and they're incorporated into that town code. And so it might be that you're seeing that set of regulations incorporated into kind of what's called the town bylaws. They might be the exact same
Oh,
thing,
I
cause
was
I'm
just-
not aware of any
They
other
were,
regulations that
the
passed that.
regulation they pass gets
Right.
coded, but being coded is not a bylaw.
Yeah.
It,
Yeah, cause
says
all
bylaw.
bylaws have to be voted on at town meeting
Right.
but 2018 is when we updated this regulation, and I do remember,
Okay,
this is a signed regulation given, and then it gets coded into the town code system, but coding something, a regulation is not the same thing as a bylaw.
okay, let me explain why I have any knowledge or any thoughts about this whole thing. The brick store, they had just asked to get their license back.
Yes.
And they were denied because of the bylaw or whatever it is. Because we don't have enough licenses to give them. And I'm just wondering where all this falls. Does this change that? Does it make it them able to get their tobacco license back? Or does this change any of the rules on how many licenses we can have or how that is all transpired?
The Board of Health, I'm gonna use the number 10 years ago.
It is 10, yeah.
Maybe longer, voted not to issue any new tobacco permits in Townsend.
Okay.
At that time, we also got rid of flavored tobaccos, we got rid of vapes, we eliminated all that stuff being sold in Townsend because we're looking out for the best interest of our children. And if it's not easily accessible to the kids, they gotta work harder to get it. If they wanna go to New Hampshire, if they wanna go to any other town, go. And as time goes on, as this board goes on, and permits expire or whatever, they won't be renewed. The ones that are current will stay in effect. And that's how we're going to assist in keeping our kids out of the problems of tobacco, vapes, and all that. So when they come into Townsend, not available. You wanna get it, go any place else you want and buy it if you want that.
Now, is that a regulation or is that something that can be changed by town meeting?
So it's a regulation, so it's
Okay.
already in these, it's
Okay.
Section E8.
All right, just,
So if you want, I can read it, it's not very long.
Yeah.
You wanna hear it?
I mean, only if you want to,
So it
but,
says, maximum number of tobacco, product sales permits. At any given time, there should be no more than 6 tobacco product sales permit issued in Townsend. Any permit holder who has failed to renew their permit within 30 days of expiration will be treated as a first-time permit applicant. And then you had this, B, highlighted, but it's already there, so I don't know if it was, just a kind of wording change on it.
What had happened is, yes, this is just the correct wording, that there was, an accidental line in the old reg, so I was just showing where the change made, so that's the
Okay.
replacement paragraph, that's just, yeah.
So what it's proposed to read is, as of the effective date of this regulation, any permit surrendered, revoked, or not renewed either because a retailer no longer sells tobacco products as defined herein, or because a retailer closes a retail business, shall be returned to the Townsend Board of Health and shall be permanently retired by the Board of Health, and the total allowable number of tobacco product sales permits under paragraph A shall be reduced by the number of the retired permits. So essentially, if somebody purchased a business that currently had a tobacco permit, they would have 30 days to apply for the new permit under their own name, and if they didn't, then that tobacco permit would be forfeited, and that number would go from 6 to 5.
And if somebody closes their business, and then the storefront stays empty for several months, and then somebody buys it or they wanna reopen it, such as the case of the gentleman you mentioned, it's already retired, because he closed his business but the 30 days had passed. So it's called a retiring cap, and it's a density strategy that's been used, and Townsend passed that back in 2018, and that's been practiced since 2018. And in 2018, you had 10 permits, and now that we're upgrading it, you have 6, so you wouldn't use 10 because 4 have been retired. So the number changed from 10 in 2018 to 6 now, because we have 6 existing. So that means any business owner who sells their business can sell it, and that business owner would be able to, but it's limited within 30 days. But you're not allowed to operate under anybody else's permits for food, lottery, alcohol. You're supposed to transfer those all, upon the sale anyway. So 30 days is actually a very appropriate amount of time for them to be able to, the new owner, to obtain those permits.
okay, thank you,
Okay,
thanks.
any other questions?
Yeah, I do have about this proposed thing.
He has to state his name.
Would you state your name, please?
Yeah, my name is Abra Kumar, and I own the Honeyland Farm in this town. So my first question is, this is a public hearing, and as she mentioned, that nobody sent a comment. Now, on what basis you guys are taking the decision on this proposed thing? Just 3 or 4 of you, whatever she suggests, based on that you taking decision? Or how you guys taking decision? That I wanna know, first of all. Second thing, there was a 10 permit in the town, now you reduced to 6. And she mentioned in the beginning, or you mentioned in the beginning, that if somebody wants to buy tobacco, they can go to the New Hampshire or other town. So if you guys wanna close all the tobacco permit, you can do in one shot. So like this first proposed thing, no permit renewal if 3 sales to person under 21. That's not fair, because we are paying the fine if by mistake we sell the tobacco on person under 21. And that's the law by Massachusetts government. Then what's the purpose of not permitting renewal?
The purpose of not permitting the renewal is the fact that a previous board in 18 sat down, 3 members of the board, and agreed to the fact that that was a harmful substance for our children to get involved with. It's easy enough for everybody to buy cigarettes, vapes, or whatever, and give them to the teenagers. But if the teenagers have it adequately supplied to them because it's easy, more and more kids are gonna get into these problems where they're gonna be addicted. And the board as a group decided she had nothing to do with our decision. This decision we made.
Yeah, but these are proposed by her, not by you guys.
No, negative, we proposed it to her.
They poked
She
me
had
in
other
and asked
towns
for
that had
update.
already done that. We're not the only town that has done this.
And just so you know, everything in this regulation is being enforced now under state law in the current reg, with the exception of the highlighted parts.
Yeah, so that,
Yeah.
I'm,
Yeah.
I'm here only for highlighted part, because
Yeah.
already other
Yeah.
things are
So
already,
they already
you
had,
guys have
they
that.
already had a retiring cap, but there was an extra sentence in there that didn't belong, so the retiring cap has been in effect since 2018. And the reason why it went from 10 to 6 is because in 2018 to now, they practiced that retiring cap and people went out of business. They closed their businesses completely and didn't reopen or sell it to somebody, so 4 got retired. So that's why it went to 6, because you have 6 existing businesses right now. And in terms of, the three sales to a minor, sales to the minor is now, after 30 years of education from the state, sales to a minor is considered a very egregious offense. So to have 3 sales to a minor in a year is extremely egregious. I have stores that have had maybe 2 in a year, but I've never, in the 30 years I've been doing this, had 3 in a year.
it
So-
don't say over here the year.
Oh, 3 sales to a minor? Let me look. Oh, I'm sorry, it would be three sales in your tolling period, which would be 36 months. However, that is a strategy that it's in the new draft and multiple boards of health have passed it. However, under the state law and in this regulation, if you have more than 3 violations in 36 months, you come before the board for a revocation hearing. It just reinforces it on the sales to minors. So if you have 3 state violations in a 3-year period, you're up for a permit revocation. This is just highlighting the sales to the minors.
No, so I'm still confused, because you're not explaining very well what this first line means.
Okay, so what is your question? It
What
says
is
if you
this
have,
first
if you have
line
3
mean?
sales to a minor in the regulation tolling period, which is 3 years, you would come before the Board of Health for a permit revocation hearing. But if you,
No, so here it says no permit renewal, so what's the purpose of coming to the board?
well, if on sales to minors, they can automatically not renew your permit without having a revocation hearing. But if you have 3, like say you have a flavor violation, you're selling vape over the 35%, and then you have a sale to a minor, you get a hearing. What they're saying is 3 sales to a minor, we're just not renewing your permit. You're not gonna get the permit revocation, because the sales to the minor is the most egregious offense that you can have in the state.
Okay, so that's not clearly mentioned over here. Another thing is, it's gonna affect, so right now it's proposed, once it's passed, from that onwards, 3 cell, 36 months, or whatever the previous one was done? That's also count towards
Well,
this.
everything is 36 months back from your current violation, so it's not 36 months in calendar years. So if you have a violation today and it's your third sale to a minor, we would count back the tolling period from today. So you do get violations that drop off every 36 months.
No, I'm saying that once this proposed get implemented, let's see, this is passed now.
Mhm.
So, once it's passed, and I'm making my third mistake now, first two is already done before
Mhm.
passing this,
Yep.
what will happen?
So if you make your third mistake, you would receive a, $5,000 fine. You would receive a 30-day permit suspension as per state law, not a choice by us, but as per state law. And then, whenever your renewal period, is it January 1st, October 1st, your permit would
June
not get
1st.
renewed, so you.
June first.
June 1st. So then,
Thanks.
June you would get your $5,000 fine, your 30-day permit suspension, and then the board can just not renew your permit because of those 3 sales come June 1st. But you would continue to sell you'd continue to operate after you served your penalty till June 1st.
Yeah,
They
but
could
that's
also-
not fair, right? Because you guys are proposing now that 3 cells are to the person under 21 not renewal, and we got to know today. So what happened, because those previous mistake was previously done. It should not be considered if you guys are proposing this law. The 36 months. should
Okay,
not-
I have to
the board-
intervene right now, because we have a site walk that was scheduled for 6:30, we'll have to continue this to the next meeting. So if you wanna come to the next meeting again, we'll continue this to the next meeting, because we've got another schedule here, Carla reminded me.
And the
Thank you,
board
Carla.
takes your comments under advisement, and they didn't pass it yet. So they'll take your comments under advisement, and at their meeting, when they're getting ready to pass this, we can look at that section and they can make a decision if it makes sense for Townsend.
And the purpose of the board, I just wanna clarify, that, we're here, we wanna hear the people's comments, and we are not gonna make any decisions today, but we just wanna have the proper feedback, and, this is democracy, this is not a dictatorship, so, but we will hear the comments and, oral or written, that you'll be able to make us, part of it, we will consider it.
Yeah, but that's the problem nowadays, that nobody's interested giving comments, or nobody have a time to come over here. to
Excuse me,
show up.
sir,
No.
you've been giving comments, and I have to stop the
No,
comments,
but
we're gonna
one second, I'm
continue
replying
this.
to him, sir.
Okay,
Please, let me
2
allow.
more minutes.
So that's the problem. So now, the thing is, whoever is sitting over there has the authority to take the decision. That's the problem of the current world. That's all.
Okay, thank you. You're welcome to come to the next meeting.
3 times within.
So if you are continuing it, then you'd have to make a motion to continue the hearing.
Make a motion to
a
continue the
specific-
hearing.
I'll make
to,
a motion to continue the hearing and the next Board of Health,
What's
Board of,
the 18th?
13th.
the 13th of August,
August.
2024.
Okay, can I just make a interjection? I'm not gonna be back from vacation till the 15th. Can you do it on your second meeting of August?
Absolutely.
Is that okay?
That's
Yes, we can do
the-
that.
Okay, otherwise I could send somebody, but you.
No,
That's
I-
the
I
25th.
Yeah.
You heard
What
me.
shown is 25th.
I'll
The
also make a
25th.
motion to, we continue this meeting on the 25th of August in our next meeting at the Board of
Okay,
Health.
motion seconded, all in favor? Say
Aye.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you, Joan.
Okay.
Okay, before we do the very last one, food trucks?
If you wanna just continue that, we can do that.
We should continue the food truck as well, because we are late.
We don't need a motion for that, though.
No, you do not.
No. Okay.
Okay, but you do have some invoices to take care of. You have your June Shaw's normal statement, which is a set fee. I don't have their tonnage yet. I don't typically get it until the 13th. But I don't have it, so, we do have that monthly statement for them under their old contract. We also have a bill for $1,261 for overflow, because our $6,000 contract with them at the recycling center was
Exalt. We have a Staples bill. For some cartridges for me.
Could you carry your concessions into the hall, your discussions
Sorry,
into the hall,
sorry.
please? Thank you.
I believe I have 2 AT&T bills because we didn't have the meeting on the 9th. So you have one here. I have some mileage in June that wasn't put in because on the 28th, we didn't anticipate me having to go pick up mattress bags or go to GW Shaw to sign the contract. We sprayed the recycling center.
Would you do me a favor, go outside and see if it's raining?
Mosquitoes, bugs, West Nile virus is getting pretty bad in the area. It's just been confirmed in Worcester and Marlboro, so we're keeping the area safe with spraying. Complete Recycling Solutions was there to dispose of a good 6 months worth of electronics to the tune of $4,886.90.
Really?
Yep, that was a little hard for me, but we are taking in more money than ever, which helps with the disposal costs. I don't know, after COVID, just things changed so much there. Another bill from GW Shar and Son
Really late in this
for
one, sorry.
overflow bags.
Really light mist right now.
White mist?
Yeah, I mean, it's barely even raining.
Okay,
But
do
it-
you need to stay here?
I didn't know if anything else was going on, so.
I don't think so, unless you wanna come to the recycling center with us, yeah, okay.
Alright,
I'll
have a
talk to
good
you
night.
tomorrow, Rick, thank you. GW Shar and Son, they receive $1 for every purple overflow bag that we sell, so they're looking for,
That much?
My God.
That many bags? Really?
How much is it,
2,731.
How much?
2,731.
Why are people, what are they throwing away?
our Unitil bill, which is for the recycling center, 8163. No more recycling center bill. Tough Stuff Recycling, mattress bags are a big hot commodity these days. We charge $5 a bag. I had to purchase another case, and then I had to drive down to get them, because one of the reasons why I drove down there was because the problem with Atwood Acres, if we needed to help them dispose of certain things that they needed bags for, we wanted to make sure that they were available for them.
Okay.
And excuse me, first quarter assessment for Rick and the Neshoba Board of Health.
First
They
quarter
increased,
assessment.
yes, so it's their next year's bill, it's your first bill of this year, and they increased by, I wanna say 8%.
8%'s not bad.
They didn't for the longest time,
Yeah.
and if it.
That's a quarterly bill, right?
It is a quarterly bill, yes. And then it is extremely important that Christian, you and Jim sign these contracts that are right here in front of you before we go to the recycling center.
That is the 3-year contract, correct?
It is.
Yes. No, that's the year extension.
No, it's just 1 year
1 year
extension.
1 year
Yes.
extension.
Okay, so if you go there.
How many are here?
There's, nope, that's just one copy. Christian, you have one right there,
Okay.
Yep.
cause we're gonna do 3 wet
Is this mine
signatures.
or?
It is, so if you take off that clip
Mhm.
and then you turn that page over, you'll see the signature page, I believe.
Yep.
You gotta put a date
Page
on that?
2 of 3. right there with your name,
Yep.
see right there?
Mhm.
And I will send you a copy once it's signed, but if you could sign it, because we also have to have Shaw sign it, and then the accountant has to sign it, because the selectmen have signed it. So it's just more of a chain of command. I was hoping that Glenn was gonna come in this afternoon to sign his page, but he didn't get around to it. So I will chase him down tomorrow to make sure that this contract gets signed, so it can get into the accountant's office, into town council as soon as possible. One more.
So, I signed this one already, so.
Mm-hmm. And you're gonna sign this one, and you're gonna sign this one. Is it blue?
Gotta be blue?
Well, it should be, if we're gonna have wet signatures, it's easier to distinguish. Now, as you're finalizing that, the last thing in your packages was the 3 quotes for the recycling center gate that we are going down to look at. As you can see, they are extremely different,
Yeah, but they're all for the same material.
same, exact same material.
Yeah,
So you're gonna be looking at one, which is $4,511. You're gonna be looking at a second, which is $5,900,
Mm-hmm.
and you're gonna be looking at a third, which is $8,520. So, you don't have to go, you can make a motion. I think that Jim was excited about bringing you down, Christian, to see.
I wanna go see before,
Okay, let's go.
making any decision. I never been in the area, so.
okay. Well, make a motion to adjourn briefly.
I make a motion to adjourn briefly the the Board of Health meeting.
Okay, and I second that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We'll go to the recycling center, return, and finish up the meeting.
I'd like to make, to ask the board if we could adjourn the meeting at the recycling center, so we don't have to come back here.
Oh, that's a good idea, Colin.
You
Yeah.
can do that, right, Cindy?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll submit a motion to adjourn the meeting at the recycling center.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
That was a good gesture, Colin. Thank you.